Hello. It's been a while, I know. Instead of making excuses, I'm just going to make a regular video, which you guys have probably been missing. But I've been wanting to do something a little bit different, and I guess that's what I'm going to do now, because I thought it'd be cool to take debates and more or less review them. I'm going to take some debates that I find, show you some clips, some highlights, solely for the purposes of commentary and criticism, and thereby falling under fair use law and under United States Code Title 17, Chapter 107 is not an infringement of copyright. Not everybody gets that. Anyhow, today we're looking at a debate between Nathan Thompson and Chris Curry. Now, according to Nathan's own introduction in this video, his audience already knows who he is. That's the introduction we get. But if you want to know what Nathan Thompson we're talking about, well,
I got a flyer for you. Check it out. Hey guys, you're not on a ball in space. Research flat Earth. That's how you do it right there.
yeah, it's that Nathan Thompson. But you might be wondering who this Chris Curry guy is, and it seems like he's just a normal person whose friend introduced him to the concept of the flat Earth. He joined Nathan's Discord, I believe, and he still believes that the Earth is a globe. And now they're arguing about it. Here's that.
So let's say we're starting a trip from Los Angeles to Sydney, Australia. Okay, you can ask any commercial pilot which direction you would head, and they would say southwest. But according to Flat Earth, the actual direction you would go would be northwest. This is a Flat Earth map. So what's going on? And then notice that anytime, say you're going from New York City to Cape Town, South Africa, again, it looks like you're not heading south. You're instead going northeast.
Okay, Chris, do you have any data of like an airplane flight with a compass showing what direction you travel, or are we just gonna say, hey, you can ask a pilot and they'll tell you?
And you know what? That's a good question. A good point that I would bring up if I was on the side that the Earth was flat. Because all he's doing is pointing out the differences between this model of the Earth and this model of the Earth. It would be nice for him to show that one of these is the case over the other. I would have pointed out the things that the airlines say, the distances that these airlines would give you, the time it takes to take these trips. Those would be better fine points to put in there. A little bit more difficult to argue against, but you're going to hear motorcycles, but you're going to see Nathan just kind of shut down these arguments.
I mean, it's very easy to verify this.
Okay, so no data, evidence, it's not evidence, so it's just you. It's a cool story, Chris, but what would be the next argument?
But it looks like Chris is just going to take it. He's moving on.
Look at this. Well, this is an air map. You're probably familiar with it because you did a video on this air map, right?
I did a video how the Air Force used that map during World War II, but that doesn't mean that it's a 100% accurate map. It just means that the Air Force used it during World War II.
And there you go. The sort of plausible deniability. They never like to make any exact claims. They like to say, oh, this could be it. This, it's closer to the truth. I'm not saying that this model or this map is 100% accurate because, if they did, then it'd be much easier to disprove it.
Well, if they use it, it would be accurate.
More accurate than any maps that I've made, probably.
Okay. Notice this. This description box right here, second paragraph. Since it is impossible to spread the surface of a globe on a flat surface without distortion, all maps are distorted in some respects. In this map, the distortion occurs in the east and west distances.
Okay, so the Air Force told you it's a ball, and even though they're using a flat Earth map.
But you looked at this map. But look at the longitude scales. They keep sliding. every 10 degrees on a longitude, your mileage increases.
And your evidence of this is a book?
His evidence of this is the exact same evidence that you looked at. It looks like this isn't a straightforward argument from Chris that this proves that the Earth is a globe, but instead it's a criticism of an argument that Nathan Thompson has used before. I haven't seen Nathan Thompson's original video of this because I don't watch Nathan Thompson. I'm sure you can see why.
My argument was not that it's a 100% accurate map, which, I mean, you haven't proven it's not, but it just says it's a globe, even though it's a flat Earth map, and then your evidence is that, there's more areas towards the outer, but you haven't verified that.
Neither have you verified that Australia is stretched out. So this goes back to the plausible deniability. And I didn't say all that. Because flat earthers don't typically ever say all that.
How would one verify this? You would have to take these trips, and I mean...
Yeah, it's very simple how you'd verify it. You'd go to the Tropic of Cancer, and you travel in a circle, east to west or west to east. And then you go to the Tropic of Capricorn, and you travel east to west or west to east. And if they're not equidistant or somewhat similar, and the Tropic of Capricorn is way larger than the Tropic of... That's how you would prove it, but you don't have that.
So that's all you gotta do. Just take 2 trips around the world and measure the distances pretty precisely. That's all you gotta do, really. He's trying to put the burden of proof on the people who believe that the Earth is shaped like a globe, and perhaps he's right to do so. But then moving the goalpost, putting the goalpost really far or really high, I don't know what sport this is, and saying, oh, you haven't done it. Haven't done it.
The research that I do is outside, okay? I don't look at maps from the Air Force. I don't look at anything on the internet, okay? I go outside, I test the Earth myself.
Except you did. You did find this on the internet and used it to more or less prove your point, despite the text saying that the Earth was a globe.
Do you have any evidence of downward curvature tangent to our feet?
Yeah, right here. Chicago, from 27 nautical miles. Zoomed in with a Nikon Coolpix P9000.
Did you take this?
No, you know who took this? Rob Skiba.
Not me.
Rob Skiba.
Okay.
Not me. He doesn't say anything more than that, but if he doesn't see any evidence himself in person, in the flesh, then he can't believe it. He's not going to trust anything that he doesn't do himself. That's not how science works. That's more of refusing to see any evidence that may be out there. I guess that's kind of the deal with the conspiracy theorists. They don't trust anything or anyone but themselves. We didn't make scientific advancements by ignoring everyone else except yourself.
Okay, so...
Because that's the amount of curvature that you would see in this...
He set out to prove it's not a mirage. And did
right,
you do that?
But in doing so, he's showing curvature of the Earth.
No. Chris, let me explain something to you, brother. Objects disappear bottom first on a flat surface too. You see how huge those buildings look, Chris? They look massive. Okay, so what's happening is there's atmospheric magnification, and as those objects get farther and farther away, they're being magnified more and more. And of course, you're not going to see the bottom of them because you have all that ocean in the way.
These buildings don't look huge. It looks like you zoomed in on them enough with a nice zoom lens. You seem to want a whole lot of evidence for the directions that planes were going. Do we have any such evidence of atmospheric magnification? At least in the way that he's presenting it. Chris is going to bring this up, but the ocean wouldn't be in the way unless there was a curve for it to be over. But the waves aren't going to be high enough to obstruct all of that. Though I think there would be better images to illustrate this.
The reason that picture of Chicago, of downtown Chicago, made it on the news is because that's an anomaly. You don't always see Chicago from Michigan. It's called looming. When the conditions are just right, you will see a projected image, and it will be higher.
Nope, you got it all backwards.
Every day.
You got it all backwards, Chris, okay? So let me explain. The fact that we can see it ever proves Earth's not a globe.
The fact that you could see it ever disproves a globe? No, I think the fact that you cannot see it most of the time is evidence that it's not flat, because you should be expected to see it if it's not obstructed. And it's not, and they kind of go into that, and I don't think it gets effectively resolved. So let's skip ahead a little bit.
All those smaller buildings should be hidden by Earth curve, and it's not. And your argument is, well, they're missing the bottom. Of course they're missing the bottom.
What do you mean? There's plenty of smaller buildings that are hidden by the curve. All right, I thought I was skipping. I'm going to skip.